Ooh, it needs to be oiled. This is the biggest curling iron that I have, okay? Hey guys, welcome back, welcome back. I want to say what's up to all my subbies, and I want to say what's up to all the newbies, maybe checking me out for the very first time. Come on in, come on in. We are going to do show and tell. Okay, so I'm going to show you my little collection of Marcel irons, okay? And if you guys hear a lot of wind, I'm so sorry. I'm recording by a window, and even though the window is closed, you can still hear the wind. So we're just going to ignore that and just focus in on me. Don't worry about anything else. Okay, back to show and tell. Now, when I first started my hair journey, all way back in the day, I went bananas, okay? I went bananas. I wanted the shampoos, I wanted the conditioners, I wanted everything that I thought I needed in order to get my hair back on track, okay? Which was, at that time, it was okay, but I wanted it longer. And I just wanted, you know, healthy hair, okay? So besides all the products that I bought, I did my research as far as the tools, because I do flat iron my hair and I do curl my hair. More so the former than the latter now. But anyway, so I went through my golden hots as far as that phase, and then I upped my game, and then I got a ceramic iron. Okay, my first one was a high, HAI. Okay, and that served me well until it broke and whatever. So, you know, my whole ceramic game was tight because I found something else, which I use now. But in the midst of all that, I wanted Marcel irons. For those who are not familiar, Marcel irons are made of steel. They're old school steel irons, okay, that you used to have to put on either in a little oven. It's like a ceramic oven that used to sit on top of like a surface that you can plug in. Or you would have to, for those who do home styling, okay, back in the day with the press and curl and all that, you would have to put it on top of a stovetop, okay, so that it's heat. You can heat up the irons that way. So a lot of salons, especially black salons, used to use them back in the day. A lot of people still use them because they give you a nice crisp look when styling, okay? So Marcel irons are considered professional irons because, again, to regulate the heat, you have to do it manually. It's not a thing of where you just press a button and dial in or, you know, turn it up to a certain temperature. You have to really keep your eye on it and heat check it. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. But I'm going to show you the irons, okay, that I have. I have about 6 altogether, and most of them are curlers. And unfortunately, I don't have all of them with me, but I wanted to show you what I do have. I have a crimper, okay. I have this flat iron. I love this one. I just love the way it looks, you know what I mean? And I have this huge barreled curler, okay? Now I do have other curlers that are smaller, and I'm gonna show you, or I'm gonna tell you how I use them in a little bit. But I wanted to show you what I have because I was very excited when I got these. Again, I searched high and low for certain irons, and I just wanted these as part of my collection. Not that I'm actively collecting, but I will call it a collection because I have more than 2. So I think it qualifies. So it is a collection of Marcel irons. What makes Marcel irons different than other irons? Well, number one, these particular tools are named after a hairstylist who was a pioneer in hairstyling. His name was Marcel Grotteau, okay? And again, you have to heat these outside. You have to manually heat these, okay? So you have to be very careful. But in addition to that, the handles are pronged, okay? So they require quite a bit of dexterity to open and close and use them, okay? With Big Mama, if you were to curl your hair, you would put it in, and just like any other curler, okay? And close it on there, And you have to work quickly, and you would see people sort of, and you see my hand, oh, you know, turn it around, and then you would have a curl. So that's how you would use these. And again, your dexterity has to be on a 10 for these to really quickly move it through the hair, move it around, open and close, let it go, okay? So that's why they're considered professional tools. However, laypersons like us, you can go into a beauty supply store and pick up quite a few of these, you know, at, like I said, at most beauty supply stores. But I wanted these because I do know one of the pros, okay, of having a Marcel iron is that it gives you a crisp look, okay? A lot of professionals, they used to rely on these because it gives you a crisp professional look, and that's why a lot of salons still use them, and they may go between the two. A lot use ceramic irons now, but they also still, some people still use these. These are made of steel, and again, you have to regulate them yourself. Now, when I say regulate, you have to heat check them, okay? So again, these don't come with buttons. These don't, you know, plug in and then it dings when it's ready and dings when it's, you know, it doesn't automatically shut off. You have to do all of that yourself. These are not for lazy hairstyling, okay? You have to be on your game when you use these Marcels. And I'll just tell you, years ago when I went to my friend's salon, well, it wasn't her salon, but she was working in a salon. She offered to do my hair. And I said, okay, that's great. She used Marcel irons, okay? Now she used them and then she, you know, my hair looked nice and she cut it nicely and, you know, trimmed it up or whatever. And I said, okay, you know, thanks. I went home. Hair was beautiful. Hair was nice. Let me tell you, that next week, because I wash my hair every week, when I went to wash it, do you know that all my hair went down the drain? Not all of it, but a majority of it, okay? And what had happened was she never heat checked the irons, okay? She took them straight from the oven, the little ceramic ovens that you can put them into to heat them up. She took it straight from there and put it in my hair, okay? Now, I didn't put two and two together, you know, because we were talking and laughing and she was just doing my hair and I just, you know, but I noticed that she didn't heat check it. So I paid the price for that because obviously the irons were too hot and she burned off my hair, okay? So when I say heat check, I mean once you put these on heat and heat these up, you have to then make sure it's not too hot to put on your hair. Otherwise, you're going to burn your hair off. And a lot of people use either a white towel or you can even use a paper towel. You would take it out the oven, the little circular oven, or from your stove top, you know, if you have a gas stove, I use a gas stove, and, you know, the heat would come up, you know, the blue heat, and it heats it up. You would take it off that, and you would test it. If it's a curler, you would open and close and make sure, and you would heat test it this way, okay? And once you take that towel or paper towel from this iron, this should remain white. It shouldn't be brown. If this turns brown or orange at any point, it's too hot. Then you gotta let this cool. Then you let it cool, you test it again. You wanna test it so that this towel ends up super white. You don't want it to tint at all because if it's going to burn the paper, then it's going to burn your hair, okay? So she didn't do that. So that's how you would heat check your irons, and that's very important. So with that being said, a lot of people would prefer to use just the plain old plug-ins, whether it's ceramic or the regular plug-in irons, because you really have to be on your P's and Q's when you use these Marcels. So I'm going to show you my irons. Okay, so number one, these are the crimpers with the little, you can already tell, you know that these are crimpers. So I don't really necessarily need to move it like this, but the dexterity comes in just to open and close. I think I've used these, how many times I think I might have used these twice, okay? Twice or three times. And I used to crimp my hair as a protective style, okay? That way it would be crimped and then I wouldn't have to comb through it. I would just wear it crimped, and at night I would just pull it up just a little bit, but that would keep me from having to comb my hair every day. And I used to crimp with an electric crimper, okay? And then I bought these thinking that I would use these, but I don't really use these anymore. So these are just in my collection, but I don't really use these. This one is the flat iron, okay? And I love it. I love it. I love the way it looks. If you can see the sides, they're beveled. So you can get that nice smooth feel through the hair, and then you can just sort of have that bend towards the end. You would, I'm gonna look in the mirror, you would heat check it, and then you would bring it on through and just sort of bend like this, okay? And then it would bend just like a regular, you know, ceramic iron, except this is the Marcel, okay? But I don't use this at all. I don't use this at all. I use my ceramics because, again, I bought these irons when I was on fire. Like, I need everything. I need everything in my arsenal, including Marcel irons. Give me what you got. So I bought these because I always wanted a flat iron version of the Marcels. And I do have these. And I love the way they look, okay? But I don't use these, but this is my flat iron. And then I have quite a few curlers, like I said earlier. I don't have the ones that I normally use. This is the bigger version of it, this huge barrel. I think I might have used this once as well, okay? And yeah, and the other two, I have one that I use after I do my hair that I do normally use just as a finisher. So I would do my hair with my ceramic iron, and then I would take the smaller version of this. It's like 2 barrels down from this as far as the size. I would take the smaller version of that and just heat it up just a little bit and just run the iron over it, over my hair, just to make sure it's smooth and shiny. I haven't been able to do that because I don't have it with me, but that's what I normally do. And then I have a teeny tiny one. It's almost about the width of a pencil, okay? And again, it's a curler, and sometimes I use that just for my edges, just to get because it's very small, so I can get everything. If something looks a little rough, I can just go in here and just do the edges really quickly. So there are advantages to having Marcels. You don't necessarily obviously need them in your collection, but some of the pros are that it's instant heat. You don't have to really wait too long for them to heat up, okay? And again, I put them on my stovetop with the gas stove, so that blue flame just licks right over it, you know, just comes right over it, and it heats it up very quickly. And also it gives you that finished professional look. But on the other side, one of the cons is, yes, it is instant heat, okay? So you really have to be careful, and you have to heat check these irons. You can't play around, okay? Can't play around with these things, and you can't rest it on your hair and be talking on the phone like Jane, okay? So we don't want to be doing that. We want to move it through, okay? And it requires dexterity, okay? It can be very cumbersome to operate, okay? So it takes a little to get used to. It's almost like chopsticks, you know? It's like the chopsticks of hairstyling, okay? You sort of have to make sure that you have your hands right, and it takes a little bit of practice, but once you got it, you got it. And also, the more obvious is that it's not practical for traveling, you know? So electric or the plug-in irons are definitely more practical to take with you. They're lighter. These are heavier, being that these are steel. So to carry these everywhere you go, it's not practical. Okay, if you need a little touch up, or you're going somewhere traveling and you want to do your hair while you're away, these are not practical for that. Not really suited for that. And another thing to consider is that these heat from the outside in, as opposed to a ceramic iron, which a lot of people use. They heat from the inside out, so therefore it preserves more of the moisture in your hair and doesn't leave it as dry as a Marcel iron can, okay? and it's a little safer as far as the heat. Again, we're back to the heat, okay? So, but I love them. That's my little collection. Again, I have about 6. I wanted Marcel irons. Am I the only one that went out and bought a whole bunch of Marcel irons? Just me? So I got Marcel irons, okay? Nobody else? No, nobody else. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for letting me talk about my Marcel irons. I do love them. Yes, I do. Is this thing on? Okay. Yes. Okay, guys. So that wasn't too bad, right? We were in and out. Okay. I appreciate you letting me show the class my collection, show and tell of Marcel irons. Granted, it was only half of them, but you get the gist. And you can see why I like them a lot. Again, they just give you a professional look. There's a reason why they've been a staple in the black hair salons for so many years. And even now, a lot of people still use them because they give you a crisp look, okay? There's a lot to be said about these Marcel irons. Once you get the hang of them, they're good to go, okay? So thank you so much for indulging me, okay? And yeah, we'll be back talking about some more stuff, okay? So thank you for dialing in and showing up. And if you have any questions, just let me know down below, okay? So come on back. We're going to be talking about some more stuff. And you already know it's going to be the same Dolce dial, and it's going to be the same Dolce channel. So you